Hello, my beautiful family-malinskis. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So continuing on from last tips and tutorials video on building a tiny home, I wanted to do one for landscaping because me personally, I'm trash. I am no good at landscaping. So I made this video because I know a lot of us aren't very good at landscaping as well and don't know how to go about landscaping. So let's learn together. My first tip comes from Dustin and he says, get an apartment. I'm just kidding. The first one is from Zeblin. And it's to look at real landscapes. So I'm going to insert a few pictures of the references I found off of Pinterest to create the landscapes that I did in this video. And I will link all of them down below. There's a whole board on Pinterest that I made full of these sort of landscaping photos. And I chose these mainly because they're almost like a floor plan. And I'm no good at looking at reference pictures of real landscapes and then creating something from that. I'd rather have like almost like a floor plan kind of picture so that I can sort of map it out properly. So hopefully that made sense. But yeah, all the links in the description box down below to the Pinterest board where I have more pictures just like this. So the next tip is probably what helped me the most is from Emily, and she says to use terrain paint in the areas you want plants first and where you want garden beds as well. And a few other people also saying to use terrain paint to add interest in different spots of the lot so that it's not just all grass or all dirt. Depending on wherever you're building, it helps to have different sort of colors on the landscape. Also, I did do a driveway, so I just used terrain paint to create a driveway look. So the next tip is to use cheats, like all of them. So you can use some debug objects to add extra interest instead of plants. And you'll see out the back when I do the pond area, I use the debug stones from base game to make a little area. Also, I used the round stones to make a pathway, which you'll see later on in the video. Also, some more tips that came from a few people was to place plants in odd numbers. So I tried to do a little bit of that throughout the process, but I think it only really works if you have like a small garden bed or a small space where you have just a few plants. So do like 3s or 5s or I don't know, 7s or 9s. But I think it only really works if you have a small area, because if it's too big of an area, you can't really like tell that there's odd numbers of plants. I don't know. The thing that I found most useful with that was when I was doing the front yard. So I tried to place odd numbers in those areas. So the next tip is from Ira, and that's to size plants up and down to create more interest and so that it looks more natural. So not every single plant is the same size and not every plant looks the same. Also to use different swatches. And a few other people also mentioned, I don't know if it was in one of those comments before, but they did mention to use different swatches, but only pick a few colors. So pick maybe 3 or 4 colors of plants that you want, or like actually pick a few types of plants instead of using like every single plant that's in the game that you have access to, just using a few so that it looks nice and it doesn't look too messy. Because if there's too many different colors and there's too many different plants, it can look a little bit messy. I did tend to go a little bit more on the messier side, I guess, with the backyard. I did place those, it's like a yellow leafy flower bed. I did place those at the front underneath where the dirt sort of is, just to kind of make it look a bit more green. But then I ended up deleting it at the end of the video, or sorry, not the end of the video, at the end of the build, because I don't know, I just didn't really like it. I like the fact that you could see the dirt, and I like the fact that it looked more clean if you had like the dirt showing through and you just had a few plants like kind of poking out from it. Hopefully that makes sense. And one tip that really helped me was from April, and she said to decide on a theme based on a climate. And I guess that helps a lot when you're building in, say, like Sulani, because you're going to use more plants that look like they're from the beach. Or if you're building in Oasis Springs, like it's obviously the desert, even though there's some lots that have grass and stuff like that, there's more likely chance that you're going to find like cactuses or like dry desert plants and stuff like that. And then when you go to Willow Creek, it's obviously more lush, and you get the point. So basically just kind of build depending on the sort of climate or the world. So kind of have a look around the world that you're building in and try to draw inspiration from what is already in the world. It also blends in a lot better if you have the lot that looks like it's got the plants from that world. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, I would love if you guys could give me a big thumbs up. That helps support me and helps support the channel. Also, if you could subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little bell icon so you're notified of when I upload more videos just like this. And lastly, I have started streaming on Twitch if you don't already know. And if you didn't already come from my Twitch community, you can find the link in the description box down below. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which is the same upload schedule that I do for YouTube. So anyway, guys, wherever you are and wherever you're going to join me, I would love to see you there. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.